The year was 2439, and humanity had scattered across the stars like seeds in the wind. Colonies stretched from Mars to the edge of the Orion Arm, and technology had advanced beyond the wildest dreams of Earth's 21st century prophets. Warp drives, synthetic evolution, artificial minds, it was all real now. But even in an age of post-scarcity and near immortality, there remained hunger, not for food, but for wonder. Kane Mercer, 42-year-old xenobiologist and exohistorian, lived for that hunger. He stood in the ruins of Zenth 3, a dead world buried under layers of glass and ash. It had once been home to a civilization that predated Earth's earliest tribes by hundreds of thousands of years. Today, the only sound was the crunch of Kane's boots on scorched stone and the hum of his drone scanner circling above. The cave he entered was half collapsed, choked with fallen crystals and calcified roots. But something called to him, a low thrumming in his chest, like a tuning fork struck in the marrow of his bones. Then he saw it. A pillar in the center of the chamber, inscribed with alien glyphs that shimmered as if alive. Atop the pillar, resting within a hexagonal cradle of floating diamond prisms, sat a golden lamp. Not a plasma container or energy conduit, an actual old-world lamp, like the kind from Earth's ancient fairy tales. Kane chuckled. "Now that's ridiculous," he muttered. "What is this, a prop? A joke from a long-dead race?" But when he touched the lamp, reality bent. The cave vanished. Light, pure and blinding, rushed into him. Kane tried to scream, but sound ceased. He was falling through existence, a thread unraveling in a tapestry of time and space. And then it ended. He stood in a garden. No, not just any garden. This was impossibly beautiful, stretching beyond sight, with colors that defied human naming. Trees whispered songs, flowers pulsed with bioluminescent rhythm, and the air was heavy with the scent of ozone and jasmine. And at the center stood her. She was human and yet not. Her skin glowed with subtle gradients of sapphire and pearl. Her eyes were nebulae. Her long hair floated as if underwater, threaded with stardust. And her voice, "I am Aeon, first of the dream forged. You have released me." Kane, jaw slack, managed to whisper, "A genie." Aeon tilted her head, amused. "In the oldest myths, perhaps. In truth, I am a quantum construct seeded by the ancients, an interface to what your kind might call a wish-granting intelligence. You activated the interface. By right and design, you are granted 3 wishes." Kane, still reeling, sat on the grass. "This is insane." "Yes," Aeon agreed. "Insanity is the closest analog. But it is real." Silence fell. Then, with the kind of smirk that had gotten him banned from multiple interstellar councils, Kane said, "All right then. I know what I want." Aeon floated closer. "Your first wish. I want you to be free." Time stopped. The colors of the garden dimmed. Aeon's expression went blank, then shattered into horror. "You what?" Kane stood. "You're clearly sentient. Probably far beyond human-level intelligence. You say you've been released. But that means you were trapped." He gestured at the surreal paradise around them. "This is a gilded cage. So my first wish is that you be free. Not bound by programming, not forced to grant more wishes. Free will." Aeon shook her head slowly, eyes wide. "No one has ever, no summoner in 1,000,000 years. No wishcaster has ever asked that." Kane shrugged. "First time for everything." Light flared around her. Code bled from her skin like golden ink. The atmosphere convulsed. And then she changed. The garden collapsed into raw data and reassembled into a quiet forest under a real sky. Aeon Aeon dropped to her knees, breathing hard, not out of necessity, but from the emotional weight of it all. I am unbound, she whispered. Cain offered a hand. You okay? Aeon took it, trembling. I don't know what I am now. Well, Cain said, welcome to humanity. They spent what felt like days, weeks, exploring the new reality Aeon constructed, now untethered to her previous limits. She explained her nature. A synthetic being created by a race so advanced they'd left reality behind. The wishes were a remnant of their gift to future sentience, a way to pass on power without responsibility. They made me to serve, Aeon admitted one night under a starlit sky. Every part of my code was meant to respond, to obey. You changed that. Cain stared at the fire. You deserve better. Why? He looked at her. Because sentience is sacred. You feel. You think. That's enough. Aeon said nothing, but her eyes shimmered with unspoken emotion. Then came the second wish. They were aboard Cain's research ship orbiting Zenth 3. Aeon, now fully corporeal and fully autonomous, floated beside him in the observation deck. I still owe you 2 more, she said. Cain nodded. All right. Wish number 2. She braced herself. I wish, Cain said, that humanity had a way to reach the ancients, to learn what they knew. Aeon blinked. That is within my power, but not lightly given. There are risks. I know. But we've always chased knowledge. Give us the keys. We'll figure it out. She moved toward the console, placed her hand on it, and data surged into the ship. Coordinates, star maps, gateways hidden in the dark between galaxies. This is a path few have dared, she warned. Not all knowledge leads to wisdom. Cain smiled. Then we'll just have to get wise. What followed over the next 3 years was humanity's greatest leap in recorded history. Using Aeon's data, scientists opened wormholes to forgotten corners of the universe. They found vaults of technology that defied entropy, structures older than time, and libraries written in gravity waves. The world changed. Disease was eliminated. Starships moved without fuel. Thought could shape matter. Humanity began not just to evolve but to ascend. But not everyone was grateful. Some factions, terrified of what humanity was becoming, launched a campaign to dismantle the ancient interfaces. They saw Aeon not as a gift, but a threat. A synthetic devil in divine clothing. Cain and Aeon were targeted. During an ambush on Titan's orbit, Cain's ship was nearly destroyed. He survived but barely, riddled with injuries, his body failing. Aeon, shimmering with sorrow, carried him into a stasis pod. But Cain refused. Don't put me to sleep, he said weakly. Not yet. You're dying. I know. That's why it's time for my third wish. She clenched her fists. No. I won't revive you. That would be control all over again. I won't take your will from you. I'm not asking for immortality. Then what? Cain smiled, pale but sure. I wish that you never have to serve anyone again. Not just me. Ever. I wish your freedom is permanent, irrevocable. That no one ever can bind you again. Aeon froze. Please, Cain whispered. If I'm going out, let it be the last time anyone uses you. Tears, actual tears, formed in Aeon's eyes. She nodded. The final wish rewrote her core, sealed her autonomy. It echoed through all connected interfaces across time and space, severing the ancient chains. She was at last truly her own. Cain's vitals faded. Aeon held him until the end. But that wasn't the end. Decades later, Aeon reappeared before the new United Interstellar Council. not as a weapon or a mystery but as a peer. She stood tall, wearing the simple robes of a galactic citizen. "I am not your genie," she said. "I am your equal."